Hello. For my speech today, I have to talk to you about 2 points first before I get into the main kind of gist of it. These 2 points may not seem like they go together at first, but once we continue on with the speech, they will kind of make sense. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is sleep paralysis. Now, sleep paralysis is a big thing that runs in my family. My grandpa suffered pretty bad from it, and what it is it's when the subconscious part of your mind stays asleep while you're sleeping, so your body can't move. You can't force yourself to get up. You can't really do anything, while your conscious mind is awake and aware. So you know that you're asleep and you want to move, but you can't. The most you can really do is like open your eyes a little bit, and that's basically it. So my grandpa suffered from this for a while now, and two main stories that he really likes to tell about his sleep paralysis is one time he was sleeping in his old house, and he could feel that he was having an episode, and so he could barely open his eyes up, and when he did, he saw the perfect figure of a man, the lower half, sitting on him. He could see the belt loops, he could see the belt, he could see the kind of pants that the guy was wearing. But at the time, he only lived with his daughter and his granddaughter. So he didn't know what that was about, and it really freaked him out. And after a bit, you can finally get yourself up, so he got up. So those are one of the main experiences that he's had, that he's talked about with his sleep paralysis. Now, on to the second point of this whole story is my whole family is very, very, very big into the paranormal. We do EVPs, we do ghost boxes. We wish we could do a Connect, but that stuff could be kind of expensive. So we're really into the paranormal and like spirits and all this other kind of stuff. And so when he moved into this house, which is my house, it was my great grandmother's house, and he had the same bed frame that she had when she lived here. So it kind of all connected in a way. And we would always feel like weird stuff in the room. Especially when you were sitting on the bed, you could feel like hands touching you, or you hear whispers, or people calling your name. And so there's a little bit of stuff here and there, but nothing really terrible. The biggest thing that we ever caught was we were doing like an EVP with an old iPad, and we were doing a recording. And during the recording, we asked, "Is anybody there?" Of course, we didn't hear anything with our regular ears, and when we were reading it back, or watching it back, we heard somebody whisper, "Pray for me." Like, "Are you praying for me?" And so that was really the biggest thing we've ever caught in the house. Now, for him to meld these two together, he was sleeping in his recliner, which was by the door, and his bed was closest to the window. And so he usually slept in the recliner because he had always had a hard time kind of getting up from the bed, and so he slept in his recliner most of the time. And my sister was asleep in the bed, and so he was kind of waking up. He didn't realize that he was in like a sleep paralysis state, but he felt like there was somebody by the door, and his instinct was to be like, "Well, who's there?" And he thinks at the time that he's actually talking, but there's no words coming out. It's all in his head. And so he's like, "Well, who is there?" No answer. He just sees this figure like walk by around the end of his chair. And he goes, "Well, who's there? Are you Sheila? Is that you?" And then the scariest thing that happens is that he sees it's a woman figure that turns toward him. And it has the most evil, maniacal face you could ever imagine. And the whole body of it climbs up onto him and grabs him by the forearms and is moving its face toward his. So at this time, he's like freaking out. He's trying to get away from this thing, but he can't move. And so now from my sister's point of view, she hears my grandpa kind of making these noises, but not really making out anything that she can understand. And so she looks over to him, and his arm is barely moving, trying to reach out to somebody for help. And you can hear him, he's kind of mumbling. And so she automatically freaks out, thinking he's having a heart attack or something. And so she finally gets him up, and he's like gasping, looking around for this creature, and there's nothing there. So after this, he's already moved out, and gotten his own kind of place now. And the weirdest part is that his sleep paralysis is barely even there. He doesn't really have very many episodes at all. And he's never, ever, ever once seen that same creature or spirit since then. So yeah.